Elle was walking through the Shadow Dragon cabin with Tristan. It was a big cabin. She was even able to have her own room, which was nice. There were 2 other half-dragons in the cabin besides her and Tristan, so she felt more comfortable. Still, she knew it would take a while to get used to being in a new place. Tristan took Elle outside to show her around the actual camp. The tour didn't last long before a tiny giggle turned into a collision with Elle.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't watching where I was going.
Elle looked at the girl who had fallen to the ground with her. She was wearing a white uniform. She had blonde hair and hazel eyes that looked at Elle apologetically. The girl quickly stood and reached out her hand to help Elle stand up.
My name is Anora.
Elle accepted her hand and stood.
Hello, Anora. I'm Elle.
Tristan smiled. Good timing, Anora. Are you busy right now?
No, sir.
I was giving Elle a tour of our camp. Would you care to take over? I'd like her to meet people her age. Anora bowed her head.
Yes, sir. I'd be glad to show her around.
Tristan said his goodbyes and headed back to the cabin. Anora showed Elle where the dining hall was, where they would be training, the medical building, and even included facts about the half-dragons.
Half-dragons like us have always been around for years. I know someone said the first one was from ancient China. Ever since then, they have trained us to use our abilities. That way, we don't end up losing control of our gifts and hurting someone. What kind of dragon are you, Anora?
Anora smiled and lifted her sleeve to show her birthmark. It looked like the sun.
I'm a light dragon. What about you?
I'm Shadow. My mum is Vedis, who is actually here visiting On.
Oh, I've met her. She's lovely.
I've only met her today. My papa just dropped me off. I met On, and my mum just happened to be visiting today.
Your mum is actually the dragon representative of Camp Sirius to the Dragon Council. You'll see her often. I've only met my mum once. I miss her and Father Alfred.
Father Alfred? Is he your papa? Anora nodded.
He's a priest. He's not allowed to get married and have kids. I'm different. He didn't break any of his rules, but I arrived. My mum brought me to him when I was born, and he raised me at the church. He told me the story before he dropped me off here.
How were you born? Anora shrugged.
They haven't told me. Something about waiting until I'm older.
Elle sighed. I guess I have to wait for answers too.
So, what's next on the tour?
Anora grabbed her hand and continued the tour. After they finished the tour, they relaxed by the lake that was at the camp. The lake was important to the training of water dragons. Anora told Elle that every camp had a lake or river of some kind. She also said that everyone will go through lessons and learn about the history of the dragons, as well as the story of the first half-dragon. Their conversation was interrupted as Elle noticed the scent of her mother approaching. She quickly turned and saw Vedis walking towards them. Anora bowed her head.
It is a pleasure to meet you again, ma'am.
Your name was Anora, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad to see my daughter making friends already. I'm sorry to interrupt you both, but I was wondering if I might have a turn talking to Elle.
Of course!
Elle stood next to her mother as Anora walked away. Vedis nuzzled Elle as she hugged her leg. I'm so glad to meet you, Elle. I'm glad you finally made it to camp. The way your father was speaking, I thought he'd keep you with him forever.
We did a job. We got caught, but we escaped. They were important people in the village. Papa became afraid. I could smell it. I think he just wanted to keep me safe.
You would definitely be safe here. Not a lot of people dare to approach this area, and those that do are fought. I'm worried about Gage, though.
Me too. I wanted to stay with him. I can use my shadows to hide.
Veta shook her head. Maybe one day you can do that. Tristan and the other trainers will be able to show you how to use your abilities. You might even end up with a guest trainer from another camp at some point. You'll be trained well. Plus, I have high hopes for you. It seems you've been training yourself for years. You might end up as one of the strongest half-dragons that we have. Though, it might be a bit before you reach the level of our strongest. He has had a few years more training than you. Elle saw a smirk appear in her mother's face. Vetis looked down into the eyes of her daughter. I'm so glad you are here. And even if you don't end up that strong in your fighting, I'm glad that we get to see each other now.
Me too, Mum. Anora says you visit often?
Yes. The Dragon Council has appointed me as a representative of this camp. If Camp Sirius needs help or info from the Council, it is my job to take care of that. So, I often visit to bring messages to and from the Council.
Where is the Council?
China. The dragons there are treated with more respect, so it's safer. Here in England, it's a bit more difficult. I'm sure you know that already. That's why your papa never told you about me. Elle looked at her mum in sadness.
Please be safe, Mum.
Vetis chuckled. Of course, I'm pretty strong myself. I have my own shadow abilities. I'll be fine. The flight between here and the council takes a while, though, so I won't be able to visit as often as I would like. Honestly, it's taking all my willpower not to decide to live here now that you are here. Unfortunately, I do have a job, and it is safer for the camp if a dragon wasn't living here. It might attract unwanted attention. Elle sighed.
I'm not sure I'll be okay, Mum. I haven't been away from Papa ever. Not for this long.
Vetis purred, which sounded so strange coming from a dragon, but it comforted Elle. I'll visit often. I'll also see if I can find your Papa. I found him before, and I can bring you word on how he's doing. Elle smiled.
You will? Oh, Mum, that'd be wonderful.
Until then, you have Tristan and Anne to care for you. And you already have a friend in Anora. You won't be alone. I know you'll find other friends as well. Elle nodded.
I'm sure I will.